probably wouldn't save it anyway, so we
It's ready to quit already.
yeah, oh man, I really hope that we get through the whole thing. I'm still sitting at 1%.
This is a great intro, I think.
So yeah, this is angry Rahana trying real hard to just keep it together. For the sake of the podcast. So my computer is sitting at 1%. Apparently it won't charge anymore, but because it's plugged in, it'll stay at 1%? Question mark. I don't really know. I'm not going to question it as long as it stays on while we're doing this. That's all that I care about.
Right.
We'll see how it
goes. You won't be here if it's not.
Yeah, Alan's gonna have to finish this by himself, which is probably more entertaining anyway. So it works.
No, I need you. it's like sleepy time without you.
I don't know about that, but
for me, maybe not.
I suppose. Yeah.
Welcome to Film in Minnesota. This is episode 100.
What?
So,
Alan, what are you talking about?
We never thought, well, not never thought, but it seemed unlikely 2 years ago that we'd ever get here.
Yeah, I think that we just never really thought about it. Like, it didn't occur to us like we were going to hit a milestone or something.
Yeah, because we don't do it every week. We're not super consistent.
Yeah, life happens, and sometimes people are busy, and you know, sometimes things fall through, or things happen with us, and you know, it happens. But we're here,
and we started in 2018,
which is so weird. That feels like so long ago.
And we're in season 5. Shall we go over this, Rahana? Do you want to talk about that, maybe?
I mean, I understand. I feel like I remember you talking about how the seasons went with it being a calendar year. I disagree. Like I feel like it doesn't matter. I disagree, but I respect that that's how we have been going through it, and the fact that my memory is terrible. And so I forgot. And yeah. So I respectfully admit that I was wrong. And
you agree to disagree?
Yes. I am fully supportive of proceeding forward with the way that you view that, and the way that we have been doing this for the last 4.5 years or whatever. So yeah, 100%.
The way that you view that, I love that. That's very political.
Yeah, exactly. I'm running for office.
Yeah. Vote August 9th for your primary for Rahana.
Exactly.
In every category. Just put her name in.
Exactly.
Or midterm. Yeah, midterm.
Yeah.
Primary.
There we go.
In Minnesota.
Yeah.
If you have no one else to vote for, just vote for Rahana. It's okay.
If they're all trash, and let's be honest, depending on the side you're on.
Yeah.
I'll keep it short there, but they're all going to be trash. I mean, I'm here. You know, I'm here, and I'm willing to help where I can.
Yeah. The way we structure seasons, the way I see it, apparently, on this side of the podcast.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Twix bar, left or right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, okay.
I'll be left. It's fine.
And I don't understand the difference. They just are different verbs or something. So.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you drizzle, or do you drizzle the caramel, or whatever the other thing is?
Yeah, that's exactly. Or is it just like fully dipped in or something? I don't know.
Right.
Anyway.
So 2018 calendar year, like ending December. So it would have been like September to December.
Yeah, something like
and the way I saw it, that's like a perfect first season, because it's like The Office. Like, you get a few episodes.
Oh, okay.
We'll see if it takes off, you know?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
If it's not going to work out, we won't make another season.
Right, yeah. If no one's listening and no one wants to be on, then...
Yeah, if there's a New Year's resolution that, you know, we've had enough.
Right.
But then again, they greenlight so much crap, so here we are.
True.
So,
I mean,
no, I'm just kidding.
There are some seriously weird podcasts out there, so I feel like we're at least on a solid track.
That's true. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
kind of like if you're searching podcasts on Spotify or um, Apple Podcasts,
Hmm.
and you're like, I wonder if there's film in Minnesota. Ha ha ha. Oh, there is one.
Right.
And
Exactly.
it's like, I guess that is a thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or even if you're just searching for like film something, that's your keyword, we're there.
Because clearly no one thinks to Google film in Minnesota, right?
Right. Well, we don't know that. Maybe they do.
Hmm.
Maybe someone somewhere out there is like looking for places to film and they're like, what about film in Minnesota? Like what if I film in Minnesota and they type it in, all of a sudden, boom, we pull up. I'm like, well, this is intriguing.
That makes
Let's
sense for
give a
Minnesota
listen.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they just start listening to some of our amazing guests and they're like, okay, these people sound awesome because they totally are. And I'm intrigued. And then they're going to dig into Minnesota and they'll be like, we got some incentives, we got some rebate, like we got some things. Like, let's do it. Let's go there. They got the community, they got the landscape, they've got all the things that we need. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I feel like Canada would not do that. Um,
Well, who wants to talk to Canada anyway? Just kidding.
I
Canada's
do.
actually
I
lovely.
mean,
Yeah.
they have film treaties with like every country in the world, but
Yeah.
who wants to
Canada.
go there?
Yeah, Canada's actually quite lovely. So I'm totally kidding. But
Um, yeah, and then like, but I mean, like, we're so close to Canada. You'd think
mhm,
maybe they would think that someone in film, and
who knows?
I guess film is kind of niche in the sense that you're either in it or really into film in general, maybe.
Right. Well, yeah, you kind of have to be. I know at my work, my day job, uh my previous team, like every week we'll have like these just kind of like fun meetings where you just kind of sit and BS and just talk and chat and catch up and have coffee and all those things. Um, what's going on in life, what's cool, whatever. And every now and again, podcasts will come up. Somebody's like, yeah, I'm trying to look for some fun new podcasts or whatever, listen on walks and stuff and drives. And almost every time someone on the team is just a super supporter and amazing enabler and throws in the chat or mentions film in Minnesota, and it just warms my heart.
Hmm.
One girl, her partner, he works in like production or whatnot for like companies out in Wisconsin, and she said that he listened to it and was super excited about it and really liked it upon first listen. So, we're even expanding into Wisconsin, so that's good. But yeah, I agree.
Wow.
Like you kind of have to, I think, have a real interest
Yeah.
or even kind of be in the business a tiny bit to really want to latch on. But I think there are more people who are interested than we necessarily think. Or there
Yeah.
might be people who are interested that don't really know, like they haven't gotten into it or gotten started and they don't really know how. So this could be a really good place for them to kind of learn and find out who to contact and how to do certain things and take those first steps. So yeah, we're trying to help expand things as much as we can with our little platform.
Right. And um, I think hmm, now that we're in 5 years, 100 episodes,
Whew,
3 subscribers, great.
I
I'm just
might
kidding.
be one of those.
I
Yeah.
think we're making progress,
Yeah.
I mean, what is that, 1.5 every 2 years or something?
I mean, yeah, I like it. Although, again, I was definitely our first one. So, ooh, there's that. But that's okay.
Yeah. Uh, so we have some charts in front of us that we won't publish.
Yeah. Unnecessary to publish, but
Yeah.
cool to go over.
Yeah.
Just kind of like walk through.
We're unclear what we're going over here, but
Right.
uh
Just some
we'll,
intriguing data.
yeah, we'll take a stab at it since everyone's into data. What's the data? What's the data?
Yeah.
So
What's it
year one
showing
was,
us?
yeah, 2018.
And a shortened year.
Mm-hmm.
So not only our start when no one knew us, and also we didn't even really know what we were going to do or how to get started or anything.
Yeah, because we started 2018 with Rachel Weber.
Yeah, which is amazing because
Yeah,
Rachel's the best.
we need to get her back. We need part two of some of these people. So
I definitely agree with that.
I think we need some redos there,
Yeah. Where are they now?
I so we had two microphones, so we didn't anticipate having guests on the phone, on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Which is weird since that's our entire format is guests. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we made it work though.
yeah, 2020 really brought out the two microphone thing. So
Yeah. It worked out. It worked out quite a bit. I mean, we before the pandemic, we did end up getting a third microphone, which was really good for I would say, I mean, probably the was it like the last half of 20 maybe the last like quarter of 2018 to the first couple months of 2020.
hmm,
And by 2018, I mean 2019 because numbers are hard. Um, and then the pandemic hit, and then it was kind of irrelevant because
right.
Zoom and virtual podcasts.
Which is ironic because I used a Zoom recorder. It's their brand is called Zoom with like an
Oh yeah,
X.
yep,
And it's not Zoom, it's Zoom. But anyways,
it worked. Yeah, well,
uh,
just transferred over to a different version of Zoom.
right. We like our Zoom brands,
We
so
do. We're here to
yeah.
support the Zooming.
I like how the microphones we always had to prerequisite our microphones with guests. You have to speak up and hold it close to your mouth.
Okay, I'm going to correct you on that. You had to do that with guests and with me constantly. Like we would be recording and you would look at me and you like
Oh right.
yeah, you'd be
Hmm.
like, okay, like you got to put it up to, like up here, and I'm like, oh crap, because I would just be waving. I talk with my hands, so I would just be waving the microphone around, and you'd be like, we can't hear anything that you're saying. Like this is not good podcast material. So yeah, you had to do that with me a lot too, not just guests.
Yeah, I wonder which guests were like, I don't think I'm coming back to this podcast.
Oh God, I mean, I hope none, but yeah, it's
They
possible.
said they were nice. They're Minnesota nice, you know. They're like, oh,
Yeah,
okay. It was great coming on the podcast.
yeah. I mean, the guests in that first like probably year, I'm sure, are kind of like, I don't really know. um, which is funny because I think those are some of the guests that like kind of self-promoted too. Like they were excited
Mm,
about being on and like pushed to like everyone like, hey, I did this and so we had a good like jump start with listeners and stuff because of that, because our guests were really intriguing and engaging and I mean the thing is we also choose guests that everyone loves, so that kind of helps. Like our guests are really fantastic,
yeah.
and they have been since day one, since Rachel, um, and so I think that significantly helps really draw people in because again our community is really supportive, and even if there are people who maybe a good chunk of the community isn't aware of, they are still interested and want to support and all of that, and so I think that's significantly helped.
Yeah. Yeah. Gosh, 2018. I have to look back at our Instagram just to see
Yeah,
what our photos were looking like then.
yeah. I remember that you would always make me do the selfie, and so my head looked really big. It drove me nuts every time. I was like, my head looks huge. I have this giant pimple or something. Like I was like, Alan looks great. Our guests always looked great, and I just look like a dud. I
Yeah.
was like, all right, well, that's fun. Um, and
Oh,
yet I never remembered to wear makeup, so I wasn't helping myself out.
yeah. We paid extra for our logo, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Um, I like our logo. It's clever and very minimalist. Um,
Yeah. It's definitely like it's really simple, which is nice.
it's filmed in Minnesota, so
Super creative.
it's
Uh,
literally it reminds me of those newspaper like puzzles,
oh
you
yeah.
know?
Like
That's
what
what I
is
was going
this?
for. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which makes sense.
We do have an episode 0 of us when we met at that caribou picture.
Yeah. That
Wow.
I honestly like almost
I
even
don't know
forgot
if
about that.
you can see it.
Yeah.
Oops.
Like our it's like our little trailer episode.
Hmm.
Okay,
So
guys,
it
guess what we're
counts
gonna
for
do?
nothing.
Right, yeah. It was just us, just like this. But I mean, what was that, like 15 minutes or something? It was not
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Uh,
We had to wait for
but
coffee, so
that's true. Man, we should have coffee on the podcast more often.
yeah. We
That
always
should be
have these
like,
late night meetings.
oh, that's true. Yeah. We do record more in the evenings now.
Yeah.
But
Sunday morning, 8 a.m. Be there.
Lord no. God. That
Or
I will just I'll like dub my own input in. So once you guys record, I'll just kind of like give my commentary and you can just loop it in later that afternoon.
right. And we forgot to get one with Ryan Becken. So
Yeah.
we only had that one photo you took.
Yeah. And I
And
mean,
then we followed up with the Vikings versus Packers. So yeah,
yeah, there's
we've
that.
changed a bit.
We and we even have a few episodes I remember where we would like take pictures of our guests kind of doing some of their special skills or like their fun facts. Like I
Oh right.
remember Rachel was able to do the frog leg thing, which is really cool.
Hmm.
So she really kicked that off
Yeah.
from the start. And then I remember Allie did the grumpy cat face, which was awesome.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, there were a couple people who did something that we could kind of show when we were doing our live, like in person
Yeah.
recordings, and that was really fun. Um, yeah,
And we would meet in person, which is pretty wild, I know. Um, since we went virtual.
yeah, it's weird thinking that we've been virtual now longer than we were ever live or like in person.
Really?
Um,
Has it been?
I
Wow.
mean, yeah, we did it 2019, and then the last 3 months of 2018, the first 2 months of 2020. So like
Yeah.
basically all of 2020, 2021, and now 2022, we've been virtual.
Hmm.
And I think that that's actually worked out for our guests a lot too.
Right.
Again, because they're busy, like they're making movies, and um, which we all know can be some pretty crazy scheduling. And on top of a lot of them having to, they have day jobs, they have
Hmm.
families and all of that, and social lives. So sometimes it's not necessarily realistic to get together and meet at a certain location for an hour and a half or whatever it may be, um, especially if that's going to be like 20 minutes away and all that. So I think that doing virtual has allowed us to talk to some really great people that we wouldn't necessarily talk to, especially those who are not actually in Minnesota. I mean, we had Quentin, he's a little bit away
Yeah.
in France. And I mean, we got to talk to our friend, the director of Emily the Criminal.
Yep. John
Um,
Patton Ford.
yeah.
Hmm.
And so we've talked to a few people who don't actually reside here, but did film here or premiered here and things like that. So um, that has also really opened up a door of opportunity for us to get to really expand talking to some really great uh, people
Hmm.
here that we wouldn't have had otherwise.
Yeah. and we actually had to go places to meet people,
Hmm.
like
Yeah,
a
we kind
film
of drove all
festival.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's like, is this a good location? It's a little far away. And then it's like,
Yes.
it's like, oh, let's see, there's a place over here that
Yeah. Does
might let
this
us
work?
hunker down in semi-private areas, you know?
Yeah. And sometimes they're a little loud and we have to make do.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, kind of to the point that you were actually trying to get at that I missed. Um, yeah, I mean, like there've definitely been, like film festivals or just different events that have led to like us meeting people who we were then able to have on the podcast. Whereas, and honestly, you really run that and manage that, and have not only known more people on the podcast from the start, but kind of met and identified some really great guests to have for us to have on. I've known quite a few people that we've had on, people that I really adore, and it was so excited to get to chat with in more depth on here. But I've met so many people for the first time here and really loved getting to know them. Like we've had some really, really fun and very intriguing conversations with people that I never would have had otherwise. So it's been great getting to even meet so many people in the community through this.
Right. Yeah. I think, yeah, just we've kind of run a interesting gamut on both sides of 2020.
Yeah.
So let's go through some of the data because that's what maybe some people are interested in. Um, see how we've grown.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I think we'll just go over any interesting factoids or
Hmm.
uh, that doesn't seem right. Total downloads for each year. So
Yeah.
and I think these are lies. They're not
I
accurate.
I do think that at least our numbers for this year are lies, but that is yet to be determined. So we'll find out.
Yeah, so if we'll get there. Okay.
Yeah.
2018 throughout, well, between technically August, I guess, maybe was it late July? When did episode 0 drop?
I mean, that's a solid question.
I think it was August.
I feel like that's a really long gap between that and then
Like late August, like before Rachel's episode on Labor Day.
hmm.
Because I recall something like that where it was season 1 and season 0, really.
Yeah,
I
very early on.
and we were at that coffee shop
Yeah.
and that cost money and I was like, oh
I mean,
no,
yeah,
I can't do this anymore.
no kidding.
And
Um,
everyone kept reserving it for like
yes.
other stuff and I was like,
It was a lot. But yeah, August 13th
oh,
is when
13th.
the
Yeah.
episode premiered. Yeah. That was the start of it all.
Okay. There it is, mid-August then. For the year, we had a total of 654 downloads, it says.
Which is decent for the first year when we, started out. And I know I was really awkward, and uncomfortable, and constantly asking you to edit out half of what I said. Like literally every episode, I'd be like, can we just take this whole section of me blabbing out? And now I just rant on forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it
Oh, I can get going too. I mean, I'll talk about cameras all day. It's just like nobody cares, but or
hey,
how this
people do
processor
care.
works in a computer and
Yeah, there are definitely people that care. Um, but yeah, so I mean, we were kind of awkward for the at least those first few episodes for sure. So just bless our guests for those like while we were getting ramped up and like getting our footing and trying to figure out what this was going to be. Because
And no one knew at that
right,
time.
yeah,
It's like, oh, it's going to be a podcast. Hope that works
yeah,
out. Hold the mic up.
exactly, yeah. Just tried to figure it out and hope that it worked, and kind of
Mhm.
went from there.
Yeah. So then 2019 was our first full year,
Mm-hmm.
and that's season 2 now.
Yep. And that I felt like was a little more consistent. Like it wasn't necessarily like drip, like dropping or like words aren't matching up with what I'm trying to say. It didn't fluctuate as much. It wasn't like super low one month and super high or like the next or for different episodes. Like it was pretty consistent, which was really nice.
Yeah. And everyone got to go outside then and,
Yeah.
do things.
Yeah. Exactly.
Little did we know.
Right.
And then that year we had 2,617 for the year.
Yeah.
Which we can't measure ourselves by the greats. So
Right.
we'll measure ourselves by, I don't know what.
Ourselves.
Ourselves,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's fine. We're not famous. That's cool.
So really, is that a step up? Because what is that? Like 4 months or 4.5 months, 2018 versus the 12 months. So
I mean, yeah, because if it's
it is
what?
slightly higher than
Yeah, I
double.
mean 5 months, so it's a little over double. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's a tick up.
Yeah. Or ×3, excuse me. 2020. Ooh.
I'm gonna brace the fact that, like, this number at the beginning of the pandemic, we did not record. Like we took a little bit of a break because we didn't know when we were going to be back in person with things. It didn't have like we hadn't discussed how we were going to format actually doing anything virtually or whether we were. So I don't think that we had some episodes for the first at least a couple months of the pandemic.
Mhm.
So that I feel like this number is justified because we kind of took a bit of a break for the first, I don't even know how long, if it was a couple months or like 6 months or something like that. It was a while.
Yeah. And yet, what's interesting about 2020 is people found all sorts of creative ways to do things. So podcasts exploded, of course.
Yeah.
And of course, we didn't have any recordings during this
Right.
explosion,
Yeah, which is kind of wild. Like we really dropped the ball there. But that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think not many people knew what to do. So,
Right.
and then you have, then you had most of the ideas actually, or you had presented the ideas for, like, we kind of both had the idea for theme shows and what to talk
Yeah.
about. And then the top 10 guessing thing for like box office top 10, I think.
Oh, yeah. That was fun.
Because we started with like a sports bracket.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
For films.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just looking back at, because we had a premiere episode, Jessica, and that's when we started Oscar themes too. Because
yeah,
we were going to incorporate a theme show every other week to supplement the interview ones.
Yeah, and then
it was all theme shows.
Yeah.
No guess, and now it's back to just guess, no theme shows.
Right.
Did we? Let's see. How far into? Oh, we just had one guest towards the end there, and that was Elizabeth. That was fun.
Yeah. So again, I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah. And this year was a total downloads at 4,548. So somehow it climbed, even though we didn't do as many episodes,
Yeah.
which I guess, it gets steam over time. That's kind of what you'd think.
Mhm.
It's a consistent podcast, so people will tune in.
And I mean, maybe some of those, it would actually be really cool to get some feedback on it, but some of those like themed shows that we did, maybe those were more entertaining. Maybe people really enjoyed my take on ET. I
I
don't
did.
know. See? So I mean, maybe some of those were more intriguing to others or to listeners than others. Or yeah, I don't know. Maybe, people were just trying to get through life for a while. I mean, even still now they are. So
Right.
that could have also been it, where it just wasn't on their list of things they needed to do.
Right.
But yeah, for not really recording at least a guest episode from March to December, I'd say that's pretty good for
Yeah.
people just listening to us go on about
And
random things.
we basically chucked 2020 to the curb and said
Yep.
goodnight to that.
Yeah.
But I guess the positive was there was a bit of a spike in September
Yeah.
and
Started going
towards the
up.
end of the year. Yeah.
People
So
were intrigued.
yeah, they found some of our episodes from years past, maybe, and like,
Which
okay,
is, yeah, very possible. Again, we do have some super amazing guests. So
yeah. This this graph is interesting to me because it like starts up and then it like slowly.
yeah, I mean, we definitely took a bit of a dip in
But
2021, but at the same time, overall,
yeah.
I mean, that was the highest engagement year that we
Hmm.
had, which was pretty great. Um, Kind of got our footing again. And I think that the guests had everything to do with that. Again, you find amazing people for us to talk to and interview and chat with, and the more that we really discuss like what's going on, and I think really getting into the different roles in film with people, not just like kind of our own lanes, but expanding. I think that has a lot to do with it too. Like we've had
Hmm.
some really interesting uh, people on that do a variety of things on film. So I would venture to guess that has a lot to do with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So this year was 5,684 downloads, it says,
Woo!
which we're totally fine if you download and don't listen. That counts, I guess, for what
Yeah,
this
that
does. So
totally counts.
um if advertisers need to know, they need not. Well, now they know. But
Right. Yeah.
and then this year.
This is where I think we're being lied to.
This
I
is when
don't
Libsyn,
understand.
yeah, our servicer who hosts it just was like, "Oh yeah, we forgot these stats. Put them in."
Yeah. So like if you are listening right now and you happened to download and listen to any episode,
In
like especially multiple episodes, around like the end of April, beginning of May, if you could just let us know, like, hey, I downloaded 20 episodes and listened to them all in that week. Could you let us know? Because otherwise, we're definitely getting lied to.
yeah, this so so far this year we're in the 3,000s. Um, but
But
there's this problem in April where it's like 2,000.
yeah,
So if I do my math, like the 3 subscribers we have, they would have to download them from multiple sources, maybe. Like they were
yeah.
tired of listening to Apple Podcasts, so they went to Spotify and then they downloaded them all again.
Hmm.
And
I
they
mean,
went,
maybe one of those wasn't working, or maybe they would download and it wouldn't play, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. If you did that, the other two subscribers, I don't subscribe to them, just listening.
I mean, that's rude, but okay.
But
Thought you were a supporter, but whatever.
no, I'm just a host. I just work here, so
I just work here. That's all.
yeah. Kind of like Steven, the series, like it's like he
Yeah,
doesn't want to be remembered for it. I'm like, wait a minute,
exactly.
what?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
That's
really
okay.
about you, Rahana. That's what I care about.
Oh, I mean, I don't think anyone is here for me, but I appreciate the boost of confidence.
I think they are.
If they're here for me, they are solely here from my ridiculous and probably totally unwarranted angry rants and takes that I have randomly.
Oh, so
I
your
think that
dad
would be
is
it.
one of the other subscribers. Okay.
It oh, that's not surprising. Thanks,
So
Dad.
we got two. Okay.
Hey, there we go. I also don't know how you see that, so that's fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at technology, you guys.
No, I don't see that. I'm just
Oh,
guessing
you're guessing. Oh,
based on
yeah.
what you just told me,
I would say that you are
because I
100% right.
know they're here for you.
Oh my gosh. I think they're here for our amazing guests, but
Yeah, I think so too. All right. Well, that's the end of stats. So stat that.
woo. Yeah.
We're into fantasy season, fantasy mock draft season, really. Um,
Yeah, I should honestly probably do that. I am really bad at doing those. Um and by really bad, I mean I've done it once and it was like 4 years ago and I just forget every other year. I even subscribe to so Matthew Berry has like a email list so he'll send out like daily or I think it's daily emails with like hot tips and these are the people to look for and these are the people that are definitely he's like guessing whatever and I get it every day because it's like I want to know all of the inside stuff and then I get the email and I'm like not right now and I delete it so I'm doing myself a huge disservice. I suck when it comes to drafting. I've won twice based off of pure luck alone. Should not have, but I did, and
hmm.
I have zero confidence in myself at
Do
this
you know
point.
what pick you are this year?
No, we do. We actually, it's kind of fun. We do. Well, for one of the leagues that I'm in a few. For one, like my friend group, it's we do it all live, the draft live, and so we have some game that we'll play like right there, like some type of like beer pong-ish type, not with actual beer, but like just that type of thing. Um, and then the bottom of the cup will like have a number on it, and that's your pick. So like we do it live so that there's no funny business and or like favoritism because I'm the commissioner and let's be honest, I need all the help I can get. So we do it that way so it's fair and consistent and also just really fun. Especially because we do something a little bit different every year. So no idea when I'll be drafting until the day of. How about
I
you?
like I like that you're friends, but you don't trust each other when it comes to the the picks.
I mean, honestly, I
Good
think
friends.
that I think that it's more just for the fun, but because it's yeah,
No
we
fishy business now.
yeah yeah we don't want it to be boring and just like
Yeah,
pick a randomizer and I mean, there's no fun in that. Like plus, then you get to
yeah,
see people's reactions in the moment and um
true.
yeah, like last year I think I was fourth or fifth and I
Hmm.
was pissed. I don't like that. All the people that I wanted were picked like immediately before my turn every single round. And I was just, I get really competitive and crabby when it comes to drafting because I'm terrible. But also things like that happen. So I think it's more entertaining for my friends when I get like that. Um,
Yeah.
so that's sort of the, yeah. So we do it for fun like that. And yeah, it's a good time. How about
Well,
you?
yeah, this year I'm second pick again,
Nice.
which last year I went with a strategy I shouldn't have gone with.
What was
Um,
that?
which is running back hero.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, not recommended because you're hinging your whole draft on one running back,
Yeah.
and it's like he better be the one, but then it's like no, he wasn't the one.
Oh no, who'd you draft? Do you remember?
Dalvin Cook.
Oh, yeah. See, that makes sense.
He doesn't play every game of every
Right.
season. He's just known to be a 14 game guy or 13 game guy, and
Right.
that's it.
Yeah.
Um,
I
uh, yeah,
yeah. I don't remember who I picked first. Um
running back, do you think, or receiver?
Honestly, I don't remember.
How about your winning
Um
year? Because we both have a winning year. Who did you pick first in that? Do you remember
oh my
that?
God, how would anyone ever remember? I just said 10 minutes ago I have a terrible memory,
Well,
Alan.
I
I don't
mean,
know if you were listening.
you would know
Terrible
who
memory.
you picked in a championship team, right? Wouldn't
No,
you?
I have zero idea who was on my team.
Oh,
Zero idea. And it was 2 years ago. 2 years.
wow. 20,
No clue. I couldn't even begin to tell you.
2020.
I think yeah. I think I had Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think I could be wrong. Maybe I had I don't know. I don't know who I had. I'm being totally honest. I think last year I had like Jimmy G, which was a huge issue on my part. I homered it. Whatever.
Is it Trey
It's
Lance
fine.
now?
Yes. Yeah, I think he's the starter.
What
I
happened to Jimmy G?
I mean, I think they're trading him or they're trying
Um,
to. I don't know if it's happened yet or not. Again, I
okay.
have not been paying attention, but um yeah, it's a problem. Are you doing mock drafts?
I will be soon. I like to save that for August here because we all know once football begins what that means. So,
Yeah, it means that Rihanna is going to the Niners Vikings game at the end of August. That's what it
oh,
means. It's a preseason game, and I don't care. I'm
oh,
wearing my
preseason.
Kittle jersey. I'm gonna be yelling and cheering and being just super obnoxious to every Vikings fan. Um, I mean, no, I won't. I'll just be obnoxious to Jer, so it's
It's
fine.
usually less crowded for preseason, at least. So,
Yeah, which is nice. I
yeah.
will say though that it sold out really fast. I shouldn't say sold
What?
out. It tickets like it's pretty full. Like the third level, the upper level is still pretty open, but the lower two levels are like gone. Like I was trying to get tickets because they're really cheap. Because one
Yeah.
preseason and two it's the Niners. I understand my team, um, but so like tickets were really cheap. So I mean there was like I don't know. I mean, mid lower level was like $20. Amazing. I want those tickets. Every time I would select tickets or select seats to buy it, they would be gone as soon as I got to the point where I was going to actually like pay for them. It was really irritating. So
Huh.
finally got tickets, but I mean, I think that it might be fairly busy, which is kind of cool. I suppose. I mean, it's the last preseason game, so the starters will be out there a little more, and all of that. So that should be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So big,
highly.
U.S. Bank
Oh, it's
Stadium.
gigantic,
Yeah.
huge. Um, but really fun. The only I've been there once for a football game, and once for uh the X Games, which was very interesting. Um, and then once for the Final Four a couple years ago. So that was
Oh,
really cool.
nice.
Yeah. So a few different types of experiences because they do different things like setups with the stadium.
Hmm.
Um, Not a concert. I feel like people say it's really good for concerts, but yeah, it's a really cool venue. And I like how like malleable it is to whatever event you're having, which is cool.
Malleable. I see.
Malleable.
Is that your word of the day?
Sure. It's probably not the correct use, but we're gonna go with it.
Okay.
It's fine.
Well, it's been 100 episodes, and we're still here.
We are. I don't think we're going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah.
Um, we've recently, like over the past few months, couple months, started really on top of like having guests who we want to really get to know specifically and understand their role in film and what they do and people they know and projects they're doing just in general, really also trying to focus on actual like films that are big films that are being I shouldn't say big films and like specifically. So if you have a film you're trying to promote, if you have a film that's going to be coming out soon, something you're really proud of and you want to get out there, get the word out on, we're also trying to widen our focus to that. And that's been really, really interesting for me, at least. And I think that that is a really good sort of next level for or next path for the podcast. So I'm looking forward to finding out more about different films going on here and or that have been made here and premieres and all of that and getting to know people in that realm.
Yeah. I'm hopeful that we can get some more folks that I guess neither of us really know as much, and
Yeah.
especially up north where there's a lot of activity.
Yeah.
So in a way we wouldn't have been able to meet with them per se like before
Mm-hmm.
before this. So now that we're virtual, now you know, and if you're interested and you're in film, please let us know. We have a website.
What? Tell us
What
more
is that
about that, Alan.
website? Filminminnesota.com.
I mean, that seems a little out there, so I don't know.
Is that right?
Is that right? Yes.
Which is strange for a podcast to have a website, I know. There's nothing on there.
Yeah,
It's the
not yet.
podcast link.
Yeah.
There is a form to email us. So if you go
Yes.
to the website and fill that form out, that's how you can get in touch with us.
Yeah.
Other than also our social media is on there. So
Yep. And yeah, I mean, it literally, if you just want to, come on and kind of promote yourself and chat with us and let us kind of bombard you with questions and get to know you. We would love that. Or if you have something specific, like a film specifically that you're trying to promote and get out there, or that you're wrapping up and maybe in post production or anything on, we would love to learn more about it and about where you're at with it and next steps in your experience and the people you worked with and all of that. So no discussion is off limits. Like, this is what we're here for.
oh, and the website has a shop that is not open, by the way.
Someday it will be.
We'll sell t-shirts to pay for, expenses like hosting a podcast.
Yeah. Maybe even coffee mugs. Kind of
Mm,
a coffee mug hoarder. So
same. I picked up a Stranger Things one the other day. Yeah.
I picked up 2 new ones this last weekend at the cabin. So we went to like an antique shop. That's not just an antique shop. It's got like cute, like more modern-y, hipstery stuff in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I definitely need these 2 coffee mugs. And we got home and I got mean mugged when he saw those mugs and he's like, we don't have room for that. I was like, we're about to make room for that. So good luck.
So you have like a football team situation going on. You're like, you can only have 53 on your team.
Yeah.
You have to trade 1 or 2 of these to get these guys in.
That's exactly it. That's what I was told. Like, if I bought 2, I'm getting rid of 2 and I can't make a decision. They all
The
mean
trade
so much to
deadline
me.
for the Twins is coming up, so you better make it by.
Yeah, but what about like, I mean, I don't know, the trade deadline for the NBA next year. How about that? I can make a decision by then.
Maybe one will get injured and you just can't come back from it, you know?
That would be heartbreaking. First of all, that means I'm breaking it and then I have to
Yeah.
clean it up, which I don't appreciate. Especially if I'm breaking it, it probably has coffee in it, and that's coffee wasted.
Yeah.
And that's
That's true.
heartbreaking as well. So that's just a bad situation all around.
What kind of coffee do you like? I'm curious.
I can't drink like real just straight coffee, like black coffee. I would
Hmm.
love to be able to because it's a lot healthier, but I can't. So if I make it at home, I have to use an obnoxious amount of creamer. And my go-tos are like a peppermint mocha or
Mm-hmm.
like chocolate, basically.
Oh, I
Um,
see.
yeah. And if I go somewhere for coffee, this is so intriguing to all of our listeners, I know. My coffee order. If I go to Caribou, I get the ice crafted press because it's delicious. And if I go to Starbucks, I get the nitro cold brew
I
with
like
sweet
that.
cream.
Yeah, the
I will
sweet.
say though, Dunkin' Donuts has an amazing cold brew with foam sweet cream type thing. It's
Oh.
so good. Everyone go to Dunkin' Donuts for coffee tomorrow. Like it's amazing.
They have
Um,
really good caramel macchiatos compared to, well, Starbucks is pretty good too, but
mhm.
yeah, that's usually, I'm a macchiato man. So yeah,
I like it. I've never ventured out of like my tiny, like the mochas and the craft or the like the cold presser.
has to be
Cold
caramel
brew.
though, because otherwise, I mean, I guess regular macchiatos are like espresso basically, but
Hmm. Do you want to know if?
if I need
Oh,
the energy fast and short, espresso's your way. It's just like an elevator versus the
yeah.
stairs, you know.
I recently read, and I don't know if this is true. This could be fake news, everyone. I don't know. That's what we're here for. But I read that the type of coffee with the most caffeine is actually iced coffee. That's why I get uh, the ice crafted press instead of like a blended or a hot.
Oh,
Even in the
cold,
winter.
like a cold brew,
No, like
like that.
instead of like hot, blended, ice, whatever, iced coffee has the most caffeine in it.
How is that
So like you
possible? Isn't
like,
it the same as regular coffee just with ice though?
dude, I don't know. I didn't read the whole article. I saw that part and I was like, well, all right then. And now I just get iced coffee.
It's
Um,
fake news, yeah.
I
Okay.
hey, how dare you? There was
Well,
an
you just
entire article on it.
prerequisited that. I
Well,
mean, the
yeah, because
article
I
is
didn't.
wrong, clearly. I mean,
There could have been scientific data backing this up that I just didn't see.
okay.
If someone knows whether that's real or not, please comment or let us know.
This
um,
is season 5, and that is fake news. So,
it's entirely possible. I don't know. Regardless, I go iced coffee now just for that. What
okay.
are you gonna do?
Well, yeah. I heard the same thing about cold brew, because something about the brewing process or something, because
Hmm.
it's slow. So it like drains more out of the coffee bean or something. So
Maybe.
I don't know.
Sounds good to me.
But really, there is the light and dark thing where light coffee has more, or light roasted coffee has more caffeine versus dark coffee
Really?
because it's not roasted as much. Because the more it's roasted, and dark coffee is the less it melts away some of the caffeine,
I
I
mean,
guess it would have.
we all learned something today, and I like that.
Yeah. At first, I was like, no way. This is dark. This is rich. Like someone told
Yeah.
me light coffee had more caffeine. And I was just like, okay, this seems like it has more in it.
Yeah,
But that was just the taste. They fooled me.
that works. I'll take all the caffeine I can get.
Yeah. So this has been great. As Rachel said at the end of her first episode.
Yes, exactly. Um, yeah, it has been fun just catching up.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I would love if we could just go through and reminisce about every single guest, but we've had a lot of them, and honestly, they've all been so wonderful and amazing. I agree. We need to have a lot of these guests back for, where are they now?
Yeah. There is
Because
one suggestion I have real quick
ooh,
while you're on the subject.
I like it.
Um, there is a thing on twitch.tv because I've been into that lately. So
Okay.
I guess YouTube kind of has the option too,
Mhm.
but they have a section for just chatting. So you could have like little chats with people about stuff, and you can
Ooh,
have a chat going live in Twitch with like questions and stuff if you're talking to someone. So
I like
yeah,
it.
it's an option maybe.
Hey,
YouTube or Twitch, I suppose, but
I like it.
um I guess we'd have to convince a guest to go on either of those platforms.
Yeah, that's true.
Um yeah.
Yeah, that could be really cool. Or maybe multiple guests. Maybe everyone just has 15 minutes and, you hop on when you can, you hop off when you can't. And
Yeah.
yeah. I like that idea though. We'll have to look into that. More to come on that
Yeah.
soon.
It
Yeah.
there might be another section instead of shop,
Yeah. Live.
which doesn't work, by the way. So it's like maybe one day there'll be a t-shirt or a coffee mug, but
There will
not yet.
definitely be one eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I promise it won't just be like our faces. It'll be
Wouldn't
something
that
that
be
you
great?
actually,
Like a selfie
oh my
from like
gosh.
the specific episode that you want.
Okay, that's actually kind of okay. Nobody would wear that, but that's kind of a cool idea. I
Well, for the
would,
coffee mug, like
yeah, there we go.
remember this podcast? Sip.
Put it on a pillowcase
So
and
you
just
can have a
stare out.
hundred different coffee mugs with film in Minnesota, different, all different.
That's true.
Yeah. Collect them all,
Yeah.
Rahana.
I mean, I can't. I'm not allowed to. But if you can, I say go for it. I fully support your decision. I'm an enabler, and I am here to help you make that life decision. Uh,
Oh, I'm just interested in selling them. I wasn't going to buy them, but
no, I mean our listeners. Like I am here to enable and support their decision to buy every single mug that will ever.
absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
100%. Mic
But
drop right there.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, this has been the 100th episode. It was a little all over the place, but that's kind of how we roll now. Or always, but especially now that we're comfortable in it. Um, so thank you to anyone and everyone who kind of stuck with us and hung out throughout this
Yeah.
episode. We really appreciate all of the support and all of the recommendations that we've gotten and inquiries and people who've reached out wanting to be guests. And we really look forward to seeing more of that coming through so we can make sure that we're giving you what you want as listeners and also getting the people on that you really want to hear from.
Mhm.
So thank you so much for all of your support over, the last 5 seasons, the last 100 episodes. And until next time, this has been Film in Minnesota.